Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. I am David, your host, and today I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Puma MB.02s to the Puma MB.03s and give you guys my thoughts on which shoe is better over the other. Now, if you guys are interested in either of these shoes, they are going on sale when it comes to the MB.02s for around $80 to $90 on certain websites like Foot Locker and Puma as well. And the MB.03s, since they just came out, are retailing for $125. So if you guys are interested in either pair, I will leave links in the description box below. And with all that being said, let's get right into it. So when we're talking about the traction, both feature translucent outsoles. However, on the 03s, it has a mixture of regular rubber when it comes to the letters that you see in the forefoot. And when it comes to the MB.02s, you're getting a feather style traction pattern that is multi-directional, and it transitions to herringbone into the heel. And when you get to the 03s, you're going to get a continuous traction pattern that is a floral style, and it is multi-directional as well. And when it comes to overall performance on both of them, they're actually both really similar overall. When it came to lateral and vertical movements, it pretty much performs identically to each other, and it was really good overall. And when it came to dust, I found it to be a little better when it came to performance in the 03s, because the traction pattern itself is more spaced out compared to the 02s, where everything is like really closed up. But they're both really good overall, and when it came to overall durability, I found it to be more durable in the 03s compared to the 02s, because the rubber itself is more pliable in the 02s compared to the 03s, where it's a little more sturdy overall. So overall, they're both really good. However, if you get rubber options for these shoes, I wouldn't recommend it, because in the 02s, I found the solid rubber option to be not really good when it came to like any performance overall. I found myself to be sliding really frequently overall. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing yourself a pair of these shoes. Make sure to stay away from the solid rubber options that you get and go for the translucent, because overall they perform a lot better compared to the rubber counterparts. So they're both really good overall on top of that, so you can't go wrong with either shoe. However, I prefer the 03's traction over the traction that you get in the 02s. So when it comes to the cushioning setup, both are identical to each other when it comes to a full-length compressed EVA foam with nitro-infused pucks in the forefoot as well as in the heel. And when it came to the forefoot cushioning, it is identical as well when it came to responsiveness and explosiveness. On top of that, give it a really nice responsive feel, and it gives it a really nice springy bounce on top of that. However, when it came to the heel cushioning, I found it to be a little firmer in the 3s compared to the 2s. I found the 2s to be a little softer, mainly because the overall structure of the foam probably is a little different compared to this. I found myself to be a little softer when it came to the 02s over the 03s. So overall, they're pretty identical. Outside of that, the forefoot cushioning is pretty much the same. However, I found the cushioning in the heel to be a little softer in the 02s compared to the heel cushioning in the 03s. So you can't go wrong with either shoe at the end of the day, but I'd rather have the heel cushioning in the 02s compared to the 03s. And you can't go wrong with the forefoot cushioning in either of the shoes. So when it comes to the materials, in the 02s, you're going to get an engineered mesh material with a bunch of fused overlays that you see in the forefoot, lateral, and medial side of the shoe. While in the 03s, you're going to get a dual layer of engineered mesh that you can see from the artistic layout, as well as the cutouts that you see in the lateral, forefoot, and medial side of the shoe. However, when it comes to the tongue, it is really similar when it comes to the structure. It is both made of engineered mesh as well. However, in the 03s, you're going to get leather patches right on top of the tongue, as well as a pull tab on the top. And on the 02s, you're just going to get a nice patch with Lamello's logo with some perforations in the mesh tongue material as well. You're going to get flat laces in the 02s compared to the 03s, where it is a circular lace. And when it comes to the padding in the heel, you're going to get some basic padding, which is really slim in the 02s compared to the 03s, where you're going to get this really nice molded texture that you're going to get in the heel with a little bit thicker padding in the heel as well. So overall, when it comes to the overall comfort of the shoe, they're both really identical to each other, considering that they're both engineered mesh. And it was really flexible overall, and both shoes didn't have to break them in when I was playing in them. And I didn't experience any pinching when it came to the forefoot, as well as the midfoot overall. So when it comes to the overall materials, it is really nice under your foot. However, when it came to durability, I find to be more durable in the 03s because of the dual layered mesh that you get compared to the 02s. But the overall fuse overlays that you get slightly makes up for it overall. So you can't go wrong with either shoe when it comes to the materials. However, I found it to be a little better when it came to the materials in the 03s compared to the 02s. So you can't go wrong with either shoe. They're both really comfortable. However, I found that the 03s are a little bit more durable and a little bit more comfortable in the heel overall. So when it came to the fit, I will go true to size on both of these shoes. I went true to size on both, and I had a really good experience when it came to the fit in the forefoot area. It was really good when it came to the length as well as the width overall. So go true to size. If you have a wide foot, go up half a size, and if you have a narrow foot, I will go down half a size as well. So because of that, you can't go wrong with either shoe when it comes to the fit. So when it comes to overall lockdown, they're really identical when it comes to the forefoot and midfoot lockdown. In the forefoot, because of the one-to-one fit, you're going to get really good lockdown, and you won't move around in the top of the toe box area. And when you get to the midfoot, in the 02s, you're going to get a basic lacing system that helps clamp the foot into place, compared to the 03s, where it's a jagged lacing system, and it gives you a really nice clamping force, and it gives you a really clamped up feel in the shoe because of that. However, when you get to the heel, I found it to be a little better in the 02s compared to the 03s. When you are in the 02s, you don't experience any heel slippage at all. You don't experience it in the 03s. However, in the 02s, it was really unbearable when I tried to take the shoes off, especially when you use all of the lace loops on the shoe. I found it to be really hard to take off when I was done with these compared to the 03s. So because of that, that is a really good indicator of how good the heel lockdown is in the 02s compared to the 03s. But overall, the overall lockdown in the heel was really good in both of these. However, I found it to be slightly better in the 02s compared to the 03s. So at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with either shoe when it comes to the overall lockdown. Now, when it comes to support, both shoes feature a nice flat base from the outsole. However, when you compare them side to side, you can see that the 03 is slightly wider in the 03s compared to the 02s, and as a result, you're going to get a slightly better stable platform under your foot in the 03s compared to the 02s. When you get to the lateral support in the forefoot section, you are going to get a midsole bulge in both of these shoes and no outriggers. However, in the 03s, it protrudes slightly outward compared to the 02s. And you both sit inside the midsole a little bit, and especially in the forefoot section. That helps cradle the foot. That way you won't experience any ankle rolls because of that. And on top of that, you're going to get additional support from the fuse overlays that you get in the 03s and the 02s. That way it will help prevent the material from caving in on your foot, and as a result, roll your ankle. In the 02s, I experienced a couple of times I rolled my ankle in these on both sides of the shoe because of that, on my left and right foot. In the 03s, I didn't experience any ankle rolls, especially in the forefoot section because of that. When you get to the midfoot section, the support is really minimal in the 02s. You're just going to get the overall support from the material itself. However, in the 03s, you're going to get additional support from these slits of the outsole that extend all the way up to the material here, as well as in the back. That makes the material in the midfoot more rigid. That way it doesn't cave in on you when you are putting lateral load, especially when you are stopping left and right. And when you get to the heel, both shoes have heel counters. However, it is an external heel counter in the 02s compared to the 03s, where it's an internal TPU heel counter, and it helps prevent the heel from moving side to side inside the shoe. And when it comes to overall torsional support, both shoes feature a internal midfoot shank plate that helps with the overall stability inside the shoe. They're both pretty good in that department because of that. But when it comes to overall support, I would give it to the 03s compared to the 02s, mainly because of the wider base that you get in the 03s compared to the 02s, and the overall experience when it comes to the midsole bulge that protrudes a little bit outward, that helps prevent the ankle from rolling out on you, compared to the 02s where I did roll my ankle in these a couple of times. So overall, I would choose the support in the 03s compared to the 02s overall. So at the end of the day, I would pick the 03s over the 02s, mainly because of the attraction pattern that you get. It is nice and grippy regardless of the court condition, and it is really durable compared to the 02s overall. And when you get to the materials, it is slightly better in the 03s compared to the 02s with the dual layered mesh material that is really nice under your foot as well. And the overall support is the main deciding factor when it came down to this. I found it to be more supportive overall in the 03s compared to the 02s, with the wider base, the torsional support, as well as the lateral counters that you get in this shoe. Compared to the 02s, I found to be way more supportive overall because of that. And at the end of the day, this is my comparison between the Puma MB.02s over the MB.03s. And at the end of the day, I would choose the 03s over the 02s. Thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below on what you think of both of these shoes and which ones you would prefer over the other. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below as well. If you want to stay tuned to any other videos that I'm doing, as well as the reviews of both of these shoes, I will leave those videos on the sides of the screen for you guys. And if you want to subscribe down below, it is greatly appreciated as well. If you want to stay in touch with me via social media, I will leave all that information in the description box below, as well as links to both of these shoes if you guys are interested in purchasing them. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial for you guys on choosing which shoe you would prefer over the other. And until next time, keep shooting.